Hey, what's going down, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Solar Figure Shine for the RB Talk. So, you know me as the DJ, the podcast. This brother right here, I interviewed him. He was with the other group about like a year ago. So we was talking about, slow grind and stuff. But fast forward all that up, he's solo dolo with a brand new single called Forever, man, which is available on all digital outlets. So give it up for a singer, songwriter, Billy Covington.
What's up, y'all? What's good? Appreciate you having me, brother. Thank you so much, man.
No problem, man. Yeah, man. Like welcome to the YouTube world over here, man. Last time we talked, I was on Instagram and stuff, and I
Right,
was trying to
right.
get the other guy in. I was like, "Yo, it's time for me to switch
Gotta
gears."
step it up, move over, bro. Gotta move
Yeah,
over.
so I was like, let me bring the RB world with the video backdrop and everything. So I'm trying
Right,
to
right.
be different, man. But
Totally
let's get
understand.
into it, man. With the brand new single "Forever," how did this single came about? Of course, we'll talk about the music video as well.
For sure. Man, like I'm always writing. And through traveling, all over the place, like I hear all kinds of different music. And it was just, there was a beat that this producer from Nigeria sent me, and I was like, "Yo, this is fire!" And I just started writing, man, and thinking about scenarios and life experience, and the experience of my friends, man. I started writing, and I didn't stop, and I came up with Forever. Really cool, like Afro Caribbean vibe record, kind of about the uncertainty of love. So I'm a I'm a love songwriter at heart, man. So that just it came in, and the lyrics fit, and everything came together, man.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's a great record, man. I was
Thank you,
like,
man.
it definitely has that radio ready feel to it, you know what I'm saying? Uh it did the video man was so dope, man. Cause that's the thing about it's one thing, write a great song, just
Hmm.
making sure that the song matches with the video. I see some
Yeah,
artists, I'd
yeah,
be like, now how this record be on so on point, but the video, but it's like the opposite. What's
right,
going on, man?
right,
Like, what I'm saying?
man.
Uh
And that was a whole thought process, man. My brother Antoine, he helped direct the video, and he shot some of the video, and we were like, man, we get ready to go to on this trip to Colombia. And he was like, we need to shoot the video there, like it fits that area, fits what the
right.
song is saying, like it dictates that Caribbean feel, blue water, pretty ladies, all the fellas in the club. It was just all the elements came together for that trip. So we did that trip, and we went to Carnival as well while we were there. But we hit the ground running and shot the video, and it came out dope, man.
Yeah, yeah, I like it, man. What I'm saying? Definitely, it's like definitely laid back, man, and smooth video, man. What I'm
Thank
saying?
you,
Got
man.
the whole atmosphere of it, man, and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I shot all in one day. I was like 2 days.
Um, Actually, we shot over the course of like 7 days.
Wow.
So there's some of that video that was from a previous trip that we took to Tulum, Mexico.
Yeah.
So there's some also, some tropical shots from Tulum in there as well. But once we got to Cartagena, we hit the ground running, uh, and shot the first day off the plane. As soon as we got off the plane, we went to the Airbnb, showered, did our thing, and then went to start shooting. We shot all the night shots on the first night, and
Mhm.
then the next night I chartered a boat, and then we went to Cholon Island to shoot the rest of the video.
Oh wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot. I think I probably never wrecked, man. If I was a singer, shoot a video out in a different country, I ain't never been.
Man, we had is this brother that I connected with online a while ago. His name is Danger, man. Shout out to Danger to hook up. He does tours, man, and basically he is a concierge. So whatever you need, you let him know, he gonna figure out how to make it happen. So I told him I needed a limo bus to fit 20 people in. I needed access to these clubs, and I needed to charter a boat. I needed to have an afternoon lunch at Chalone Island in the water. Like, I asked him for everything that I needed before I got there, and he set everything up for me. Like, it was so dope. We didn't miss a beat. didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, that's awesome, pretty awesome right there.
Yeah, man.
Uh, I want to take it back from like your early beginnings. So growing up, did you sing in church, or you was one of kids growing up, like wanted to be like the next great thing that was popping, like another like let me see like Joe or like MJ or J1 or something like that. You
Man,
kid?
I was a radio kid, man. Radio and records, man. My father played the bass, my mom sang a little bit. I didn't really per se grow up singing in church. Yes, I sang in church, but I didn't grow up that way. Um, so there were things that I had to develop outside of that. But they were mainly listening to records. My parents had a crazy record collection, crates and crates and crates and crates. I mean, if you could go from the Platters, at that time all the way up to Stevie Wonder, it spanned from the 1940s going all the way up into the 70s, 80s, when I was born. So it was a whole bunch of music to listen to, but it was me singing was just really loving the music that my parents were playing and singing along. And then I was like, man, I guess I could sing. So, just kind of cultivated that into something, and I never let it go because I love to sing and love music so much.
Yeah, like did your parents like, you know what? Our son got something special, let's encourage him, to pursue, his career,
Right.
Because you and some parents, you might have one mother, may not agree. They'd be like, yeah, go for it, then it might be
Hmm.
the opposite. So,
Right.
you I hear the stories like day and night.
Yeah. I mean, at first, like when you really get into your head that I may want to do this professionally, there's always something that's going to want to pull you back into you being mediocre,
Yeah.
and people try to put their fears on you, because they're not able to do it. But we all walk our own path, man. And my parents were like, do what you need to do. If you ever need to come back home, you can come back home.
Yeah.
Um, but I went to college at 17. I left New York and then went to West Virginia. I was there for 2 years, and then I left West Virginia and went to New Jersey. And the reason I left was to pursue music. So it wasn't. I'll say it wasn't celebrated by everyone. Me leaving college from playing basketball, scholarship, da 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 da. Wasn't celebrated by everyone, but after I really dug in, they understood what I was trying to do. So it was cool after that.
Yeah. That's crazy when you mention it, man, because I thought to myself, I was like, you a singer. I was like, he got an NBA name, man. You know what I'm saying? We're like starting shoe guard, Billy Covington.
Oh man, I could ball though. I could ball. I mean, I ain't picked up a rock in probably a year, but back then, yeah, I was all right, man.
Yeah,
Or
man.
40-inch vert, I was trying to dunk on everybody I could.
Oh man, I can imagine, man.
Right,
It's stuff.
right,
Um, so from there, going to Jersey, because people always say, for you to make it, you got to go to New York or LA
right.
or like Atlanta and stuff. So so by the time you got to Jersey, what was going through your mind at that time?
Um, what the hell am I gonna do, and how am I gonna get in this business? And I had a cousin that I moved in with who was, heavily into music, and he was a hood dude, and he knew a lot of people. And what really kind of pushed me into the professional space of music was Naughty by Nature. So my cousin went to school with them, and we used to ball all the time at the rec center in East Orange on Eaton Place. And I was there one day balling, and I was singing while I was smashing these jumpers. And KG was like, "Bro," he was like, "You singing like that while you playing ball?" I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "This is how I practice. This is how I get my wind up. I'll be singing while I'm balling." He was like, "Dog, you crazy, but I respect that." He was like, "Yo, come with me." So I jumped into if anybody knew KG back then, he had a white Montero. Jumped into the Montero and rode around the block, and he introduced me to some cats, man, that had Grammys right in the hood.
Wow.
Introduced me to this cat's name is Mufi, Melvin Dinkins, but he produced UNITY, Queen Latifah. He did that whole Black Rain album, and he got a Grammy
Okay.
for it. So Kay introduced me to him, and Kay was like, "Man, at that time he didn't have space on his roster. Like he had a lot of people that hadn't come out yet. So he had next, he had Jaheim. Jaheim was my next door neighbor, ended up being my next door neighbor.
Wow.
Um, he had Coffee Brown. So he put me with Mufi, and Mufi introduced me to a bunch of people, man. So I definitely credit KG for putting me into a space where I could meet professionals, and those professionals had enough confidence in my ability that I could do it professionally as well.
Man, I can only imagine what that would look like, man. You know, say in the mid-90s on up.
Bro,
You know what I'm
it
saying?
was it was
Man.
so crazy. The amount of sessions that took place in my house, because I ended up moving in because he had a vacancy. So I moved out of the house with my cousin and moved in with Mufi. He had on the first floor. Studio was in the basement, but man, Jaheim was down there recording Stop, Drop, and Roll Next. They recorded that downstairs in the basement. Like it was a lot of stuff that happened inside of that house. All This Love by Donnell Jones
Yeah.
was producing my roommate's bedroom. Like we sat in there,
Oh,
like
wow.
crazy stuff, like crazy stories. Everybody came through the house. Janae came through the house. Anybody really in the Jersey music circuit, East Orange Flavor Unit was always around the crib.
That's crazy, man, because people don't get a chance to hear the full behind the scenes and stuff. Whenever I
Right,
hear stuff like that, I'd be
right.
like, it's kind of one sided, but dang, I didn't know that, man. You know,
Yeah,
all of
man.
that. People's
Crazy,
coming through it and
crazy
killing
stuff,
it.
man. Like it, coming out of there was definitely enlightening. I got a lot of knowledge from those cats, man. Just being
Yeah.
around.
You know, it's crazy, man. You mentioned Donnell Jones, and I was
Mhm.
going to ask you, man, do you ever did like a song demo for him on one of his early albums?
So I was around for the Where I Want to Be album.
Okay.
Um, and there was some songs, there was a couple of songs that I actually did demo stuff with. There was a song called Come Back, which ended up, I think it was him and Babyface. I did it. I recorded that record. And there was another record called Can't Help Myself that I recorded that actually didn't make the album. But it was a dope record. And then, probably 5 years later, Jaheim came out with a record kind of similar with the same track. And we was like, man, that song should have made the album. But, according to his A&R at the time, it didn't work. Um, but yeah, man, that's my dog. I learned a lot of stuff from Donnell. Um, just, about recording yourself and really being a perfectionist when it comes to yourself, understanding what music is and how it makes people feel and how it transcends, from your pen and your paper into somebody's heart. So I took a lot of that knowledge from Donnell during that time.
So, like around, say, like the kind of like mid late 2000s, where was you at? You know, at that moment, like, did you want to pursue your career, or did you want to kind of like fall back a little bit?
Um, I kind of fell back. I was really pushing hard. I was in another group called R&B ish with
Oh,
a dude named Brian Adams, and Brian, hell of a writer. Like he wrote the Just in Case remix with Jaheim and
right.
Nas. So we were in a group together, doing our thing, and it was like the R&B-ish thing was like a really R&B hip hop thing because he was a rapper, but he could sing. And he wrote like we was doing like Drake type stuff before Drake was doing it, like way back.
Yeah.
And going to the A&Rs back then, they were like, yo, nah, like they not ready for this yet.
Yeah.
Like like we was ahead of our time or something. And it didn't really pop. I mean, we opened up for a lot of people too. Hell, we opened up for Parliament, bro, at Webster
Right.
Hall in New York City, like crazy. But I was doing that and I was spending money. We were selling CDs out the trunk. We was making some money back, but like I got to a point where I was like, everything was so close, but not close enough. We wrote songs for people and, they would be like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then their deal would go bad or something would always happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get the hell out of here. So I left. I left Jersey, packed up, and moved to Virginia. And I swear to God, I wasn't in Virginia maybe but a year and a half, maybe. And I kind of left music alone for a while. Always in me, but I got my general contractor's license. I was flipping houses and all kinds of stuff. Um,
Oh, man.
and I got a call from my cousin Faruq, like, we got a member that didn't work out. High five. Would you be interested in being a high five? And I was like, y'all dudes would hit me after I leave Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's up in New York at this time. Like, it would hit me after I move. And, we talked about it. And at that point, I was like, you know what do I have to lose? I only have something to gain. Yeah, it's gonna be tumultuous in the beginning because High Five was really built around Tony Thompson.
Yeah.
And not a soul on the planet could fill Tony's shoes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's something that, you got to deal with that. We had to deal with that. But yeah, dudes brought me a ticket. Next thing you know, I'm in New York. And for the weekend, and we just vibe and chilling and da 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 da, and everything was like gravy. And it was like, okay, you're it. I
Wow.
started playing some records that I had, and it was like, yo, you got like, yeah, let's go. So that was 2011, something like that, like Thanksgiving time, not too maybe after Thanksgiving, between Christmas, 2011. And that's how I got into High Five at the time.
Wow. Gee, think to yourself, here it is, MySpace days already dead. Here it is, like Instagram on the rise.
Bro.
YouTube will start getting better. Facebook
Right.
will climbing up. You thought to yourself, like, okay, I know I'm in this group. I get a chance to, rebrand myself, let
Right.
people really come to, with this group, I want people to
Right.
know me. So what was your advantages as far as on a positive note, with that?
I guess that I was always writing, and I had a connection to a lot of writers and producers at the time on my own without High Five. And it's crazy because initially I never wanted to be a solo artist. It just
Wow.
it wasn't a thing for me. Like I was really wanting to be the cat who got the bag behind the
Yeah.
scenes, engineering, writing, ghost writing, all that type of stuff. And, it got to a point where I was shopping my music and shopping songs, and all the A&Rs was like, yo, who's singing these records? And I was like, I'm singing them. And it was like, yo, you never thought about like just being a solo artist? And I was like, no. I just want to write. They were like, oh, you tall, man, you got the look and da 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 da. And fame was never something that was at the forefront of my mind. I didn't care about being famous, and I still don't. Like I could care less. I just want to do music. I want to do what makes my heart feel good. I want to do what changes people's moods, makes them feel good. It's a whole energy thing for me, but like being, famous was never part of the plan for me. I could care less. If I could get the bag and just be going and do something else, I might do that. But me being able to capture a feeling and just have a vibe, I'm like, why not? Let me pour into myself a little bit and try to make this happen. So, here I am, man. Like, I poured into High Five and trying to build that brand, build it back up, doing clothes and writing records and getting producers and, all of that. And, I figured why not give it a shot by myself, see what happens.
Yeah, and you did a good job, man. For a decade, it's materials, man. Because a lot of times, some people they in a position they don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times if you're not schooling men how to help build a legacy, that's a problem. So a lot of times, got to do it. Original members,
Hmm.
that's not doing that part. So
And bro, it was not easy, man. It wasn't easy at all. We caught a lot of bad stuff. Like we did the Unsung show. Y'all know about the Unsung.
man,
And to this day, like it's one of the most watched episodes of Unsung. Like there was a lot of footage that got cut out of there because at the time, the whole thing that happened with Russell and
yeah,
his wife. Man, you want to talk about hate and like visceral internet spews and comments and all of that stuff. Like it was crazy at that time. Like we actually had to pay a publicist, man, to help us. Every time somebody typed in High Five to Google, the first thing that will come up is murder.
wow,
And they never said like so this is the part that killed us. They never said former member of High Five. Because at that time, Russell hadn't been a part of the group for over 20 years.
yeah,
but they never said former member of High Five. They said member of High Five.
Based like
So,
base.
people take those narratives and they run with them. Y'all murderers, and you singing with the devil, and it got really crazy. And if we didn't have tough skin, we would have quit.
Yeah,
Um, but it took a minute to overcome, and then we started doing shows, and then we had somebody that believed in us and put us on a tour and was like, "Yo, we killed the tour." We went from opening up the tour to being like right before like Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane, and Dougie Fresh. And it takes a lot to be able to come right before them cats because they put on a
yeah,
hell of a show. We was on a hip hop tour. I think us and Force MDs were the only R&B acts on that tour.
yeah,
Um, but like I said, it was a hard journey, man. Like it wasn't easy to get past all of like that stuff, man. Like, and you can't fight everybody. You can't explain yourself to everybody. There's 15 million people trying to come at you with stuff. And you're trying to respond to this and respond to that. And our publicist at the time, Rafael Blanco, he said, man, you can't fight everybody, man. Just let them be. He's like, we'll get past it. It'll all die. You can't do it. So we just kept at it, man. Just kept doing our thing, and until we were regulars on tours and kind of proving people wrong. And then we got the blessing of Tony's family. We took Tony's son out with us to
oh
California.
man,
He had never been to a High Five show, even with his dad.
wow,
So, he got to experience his first High Five show. We brought him out on the stage, and people were in his ear about stuff. So we had to get him like so he could actually feel our energy. And then after
yeah,
that, man, Tevin was like, "Yo, I so appreciate you guys because what you're doing is keeping my dad's legacy alive in a good light." And that's what it was the whole time. And people thought it was money and da da da. Da. Man, we wasn't making no money. Somebody was making money, but we wasn't making no money.
yeah,
It was really about the brand and keeping it in a good light because there was so much negative press, around High Five.
yeah. And that's that's what I hate about people on social media when it comes to these supposed to be fans, the bootleg fans. That you got there's the mainstream media outlets they run with it, and
Right,
I'm like, how can it be your fault for one? This brother ain't been with the group. He left the group like in '92. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Y'all ain't
right.
got nothing to do with that. Then the whole situation with him old girl that was going on with him. He should have got help
Yeah,
himself.
nothing to
I
do with
can't.
it.
Yeah, ain't got nothing to do with it, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it is sad. It's a gift and a curse. It's a gift when you join a group. It's a curse in a way where just that situation, it
Yeah,
just become poison from there.
right.
Uh, when as a performer, what goes through your body, you hit the road, you see the fans, gravitate towards you.
Man, great feelings, man. Like we went on a good run. Um, we went to London, and we was all over the states, and touring with different people, doing shows with Drew Hill, doing shows with Jagged Edge, all of our other peers, Shy, Silk. Like we've been on the stage with a lot of people. Um, so it was really good to be out there in those particular kinds of venues and, having everybody sing every single word of the song and enjoying our performance. And people like, yo, y'all don't need to be opening up. Y'all too dope. Like, y'all need to go later because, in between people fell asleep. Like hearing stuff like that from fans and inboxes and DMs, like, we're really proud of you guys, kind of kept us going. You know what I mean? So it was a really good experience that I wouldn't change. Um, I wouldn't change it. There's of course there's always certain things that you want to happen to go differently. Um, but overall it was a great experience, man. We did our thing.
Really. Now, with this upcoming project, is it like an EP? Are you working a full album? Are you kind of like just building songs up till you get to that point?
Right. So right now I'm probably like 20 songs in. Um, And what I'm going to do is drop two EPs. I'm gonna drop this international EP first. Um, just because I'm trying to do something different, man. Our market here in the United States is really oversaturated.
Yeah.
And you could come on doing the same thing as somebody else, not even knowing you're doing the same thing as somebody else because everything is like all jumbled up together. So I want to drop this international EP first. Right now I have like 6, 7 records of that. Um, which it constitutes a decent EP. 7 records is a lot. Typically, it's 5.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to extend myself into different areas of the world where certain types of music are more accepted. Um, so I want to do that first, and then I want to drop what I'm going to call the B side, Billy, the B side, R&B. So I got some really dope R&B records, man, that they're new. They give you a '90s feel, but they feel new. Um, really dope stuff, man. So probably, probably by springtime, I'll probably start dropping the R&B stuff. Um, because I want to drop the other stuff sooner because outside of the United States, it'd be summertime all the time. So
Oh yeah.
releasing a record during the season is not a thing in Colombia or Peru or Lagos in Nigeria. It's always hot. So,
Yeah, it is, man. The point
releasing
with
a
a
record
hoodie.
over there is a little bit different. But I want to get that EP out so people can get a real feel of what I'm doing. Like you can get an idea of what I'm doing with Forever. But I have some more records that are even stronger than Forever on deck. That I'm gonna be releasing them pretty soon.
Oh, but that's what's up, man. That's what's up and stuff. It's crazy though because you know, when I look at certain people, I'm like, you know what? They be their own person. They're part of this, but they can stand on their 2 feet. They know
Right,
exactly what they want whenever that's that
right.
time. And viewing you out of the other four, I was like, I could tell you be your own person. I was like, it's like you get him in the studio, let him write his records, give some dope beats. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Let's see how far this goes. You know what
I'm
I'm
going to work, bro. I'm
saying?
going. I don't care if it's a country record. I'm gonna write it. Like that's just who I am, And I come the same person all the time, but I do have confidence in my ability and what I can bring to the table. You know, I I ain't the greatest singer on the planet. I don't claim to be, but I got a vibe, and I don't really sound like nobody. So I'm
Hey,
just,
sound good.
I'm just doing me, man. I'm doing what I love. Everything is not for everybody, and I understand that, and I get it. But I'm just here, man. I'm trying to bring some more good music to the scene and give people an outlook, that's a little bit different from what they're typically hearing from, American R&B artists.
Yeah, because when I heard Forever, man, that caught me off guard, man. I said, dang,
Right.
I didn't see that coming, man.
Right. Right. Like it's all the stuff that I got, man, you would never hear it on a high five record. Like you're not
Yeah,
gonna hear that side of me. The world vision side, you're not really gonna hear that. You're gonna hear, traditional stuff because, when you have a brand, you don't want to go too far left from what
yeah,
made the brand. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But like right now, essentially, man, I'm a new artist. Yeah, I've cultivated these relationships with people and artists and with High Five, and I'm associated with that. But with this, what I'm doing now, I'm typically a new artist, man. I'm trying to hit the ground running humbly and understand that in the scheme of things, the High Five stuff really don't matter if the music's not dope. So I still got to come with some heat, with whatever I'm trying to do because I'm really on ground level. So I'm just trying to build. I'm trying to build fans and support and
yeah,
a network of people to help me. And so far, the outpouring of love for what I'm doing has been really good, man. I ain't seen nothing crazy from nobody. Like, yeah, you should be the. I don't care anyway because I'm gonna do me regardless of what anybody says. But yeah, the outpouring of love and support, man, I'm getting all kinds of stuff like just thrown at me like, hey man, you need me to help you do this. I got radio campaigns and you don't gotta pay for this. And we just love what you're doing.
yeah.
So it's been really cool. just starting this piece of my life, doing music on my own.
I tell you one thing, man, you blessed, man, because at least you don't get it, man, like doing dishes members, man. It's like
Right.
whenever, like prime example, Ralph dropped his solo record. I kept
Hmm.
getting phone calls. Hey, if I gonna get back with the group, what's wrong with y'all, man? Like, let him enjoy his thing, man.
Right. Yeah. So I have been getting those. Like, did he leave the group? Da, 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 da. We not doing no work right now, so I can't stay stagnant. I can't. I got to be in motion, man. Like I
Yeah,
have too much to offer, um, where I can't sit home just doing nothing. I gotta rock. So if we decide to do something else or whatever, I'm down. If not, I'm still I'm gonna be out in these streets, bro.
absolutely.
I got more time behind me than I got in front of me. So I got to make every moment that I have and every opportunity that I have count. Whether it's with me or with the group, I got to make it count.
Yeah. I like this comment right here. I'm gonna highlight it. Big shout outs to one of the fans, Vanessa Richardson. He said the rebirth of Billy Covington.
Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate your love.
Yeah, I thought that was dope, because I always say that, when you get the opportunity to do things on your own, and after a
Hmm.
while, you're like, okay, I did this for so long, I'm gonna see, what I can do by myself. And it's nothing
Right,
like, reinventing yourself. Because people true support fans, they don't care if you're in the group or not, they just want to hear you, what I'm
right,
saying? And when
right.
you by yourself, they be like, oh man, this is dope, man. Like,
Yeah,
like we've been waiting on, you know what I'm saying?
right, right. I get that because there are a lot of people who know that I did other stuff besides High Five. You know, and especially my peers inside of the record industry, the genuines and cats that I talked to that I got real love from me and my family. You know what I mean? Like they're like, "Yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, come on, let's do something. Let's whatever it is, let's go." But it's been really cool. Like I said, everybody was just kind of waiting. Like
Yeah,
when you gonna do something that we hear slow grind and we know that should touch on that and it's nothing and the EP that we did originally, I wrote a lot of that too. So in fact, all of those songs were like done before I even got into High Five.
right.
Um, so I'm just trying to make it count, man. I got opportunities, in front of me to be here and abroad, outside the United States doing music festivals and radio play outside it. Like I'm trying to do other things that High Five was not doing.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I believe, man, the way it's looking, it's never gonna work, and stuff business wise, it makes sense, what I'm
Right,
saying? Some people
right.
be like, well, I ain't gotta do this, like just do little shows and call it. It
Hmm.
doesn't work like that. You still gotta stay relevant.
Right.
And it's in that world, you got to, man.
You got to, man. And it's hard, bro, because I hate social media. I ain't even gonna lie. I
Yeah.
hate it, bro. I hate recording and da 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 da. Like, so last week was like I kind of embraced it, and I was like, bro, I got invited to go to Mario's after party after his concert. He
Oh
had
no.
he had his first his opening show for his the Just Us tour was here in Richmond. And one of my boys who booked shows for me here was like, yo, I'm doing the after party for Mario. You got to come. So I called some boys of mine, photographers, and it's such a different world now with social media. Like I walk into this place and I got three photographers with me and they're snapping and videotaping and everybody's looking at me like it's crazy. And then, Mario comes upstairs and he comes right to me and, lots of love and all that stuff. And then we stop, take some pictures and all of that stuff. But like all of that editing and all of that stuff, man, like I've gotten better. I'm not gonna say I've gotten good, I've gotten better. Um, but like, boy, it's so time consuming. I want to do music. I don't want to do all this other crap.
Yeah.
But you got to be multifaceted now. You got to kind of embrace it. But now, doing what I'm doing, people seeing what I've built personally, like, yo, I could take that to the next level for you. Let me do this for you. So, those avenues are coming too. Me being able to call three photographers, like, yo, let me shoot you a couple hundred and just come shoot me for the night. That stuff is important, but it definitely feels weird because like I said, the fame thing is not for me. I don't feel like it's for me. I just want to put out music. It's inevitable, I guess, if the music is good. Um, but like not the goal, but I gotta kind of embrace what's happening and like dive in because I don't be outside like that, bro. But I got to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? It's good to be seen, not seen, but the thing about the fame, it's like it's all how you handle it, you know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
And the people in your circle and stuff,
Yeah.
and stuff. Cause I care about money more than I do fame, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's
Right.
how I look at everything.
Me too,
But
bro. Money, respect. You know, like and respect before that. Your name means everything, man. So how you embrace it, what part of it you embrace is very, very important, especially, being in the public eye. It's really important.
yeah. Before we get off here, if you was to pursue basketball full time and never wanted to sing, what NBA team could you have see yourself play for?
Man, that's crazy. That's a crazy question. At the time, man, it definitely wouldn't have been Chicago, even though Chicago is my favorite team. Like it wouldn't have been there. Jordan was there, Pippen was there. I'd have been riding the bench for sure. I would have had to go to like an expansion team, Memphis. Shout out to Anthony Hardaway. He's like the first person who really dunked on my head like really crazy.
Uh,
Um at basketball camp. But yeah, it would have been like an expansion team like Memphis or Charlotte Hornets or something like that. I was all right. I wasn't crazy. I'll give you a good 12 a night, 15, some rebounds and whatever. Um, but
hey, that's
yeah,
good enough,
man, like
man.
that yeah, I would have contributed to the cause, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Man, with that being said, man, thank you for taking the time coming on here, man. I feel like, your story, is still written, from the very beginning, your early years as a kid, where
Yeah,
you are now as a full grown man. And I know for a fact that solo wise 2026, but I know we haven't seen nothing yet from you.
man.
I know it's
It
gonna be
man.
bananas, man.
If I could show y'all I'm gonna show some more of it. The stage show that I had in Cartagena for the festival was crazy. I gotta have every one of my shows like that, like crazy, man. It's gonna feel really good, man. I'm gonna get up on the stage and I'm gonna act 30 years younger.
Hey, yeah, man. Hey,
my
man,
knees still my knees still work, bro. Like I'm kind of glad I didn't keep playing ball because my knees still work. Um,
woo, yeah,
but
that
yeah,
would be
yeah,
good,
man.
brother.
I can't wait for 26 to come, man. Bookings. I'm accepting bookings now. I got a couple of things lined up already. Um, but I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. I got this music ready. I got some dancers ready. Like ready to do this thing.
Oh man, that's what's up though, man. So with that being said, thank you all for leaving comments, giving all, positive comments on Billy
Yeah.
and at Billy Covington. And
Thank
man,
y'all, man.
big shout out to Miss V for setting this interview up and
Yep.
everything, man. And yeah, man, like the day you dropped this EP, man, hey, you can hit me up. We can talk about song by song and
For sure.
go
For
from there,
sure. I
man.
I I I get it to you a little bit earlier before it drops. Um, you know, you've helped me a lot, man. Like you've been running
Appreciate it.
running your playlist and we've been going up and down and all man, it's such a good feeling, man. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, dog, for embracing the record and just the whole movement, man. It's so dope, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's only my playlist, man. It fluctuates, man.
Yeah.
What's so dope about you still in the top 10, so they ain't going to where people love it. So
Yeah, man. Like that day I saw the 87 plays in the day, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's go. And
man,
then,
ain't it like organic numbers, man?
right. And it's cool. At this point, man, I'm probably on like, I don't know. I think last time I checked, there was like 80 something playlists. And it spots from anywhere from number 1 to number 80. It's cool just to be out there, but it's cool that the record is gaining some traction in different places all over the world. I've been getting a lot of spins from Peru, bro. Like I don't know
Woo.
who's in Peru. Listen, but Peru, I'll be there. I will
Oh
be, I will
man, yeah,
I
that's
will
where the
be
money is
there.
at right there, man.
Right. Peru, I got a bunch of DJs in Colombia spinning and Medellin and Bogota and Cartagena that are spinning the record, man. And it's really cool, man. it's such a cool, and I think it's going to be a very, very interesting journey. The next few years, just to see what happens, man. But why not? Wouldn't know what would happen if I quit, and I ain't quitting.
Absolutely, man. I gotta say this, man. I gotta initiate you, brother. You know, say your nickname is Billy motherfucking Covington because he's the man.
My man, I take that, boy.
My brother, you made it, dude. I don't do it to anybody, man, but you know what I'm saying? To me, it makes sense.
Right. And for you too, man. Congratulations on all the stuff you got happening in 26, man. I be seeing you booking these gigs and booking, hosting stuff. Like, it's really good to see, man. That's what we need, man. We need to do that and celebrate each other's wins and and help each other through the losses. Like, it's dope to see that, man, how far you've come on this show. Like, it's I remember when you started with nothing, and now it's like, bro, so dope to see the growth. And always gonna be a supporter, praying for your team, bro, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Because after leaving, this whack online radio show I was with for a little while, man, I was like, yo, it's gonna be me, myself, and I, man. One man band. They like that. My cousin Tasha came through. Then, man, it was game over from there, man. It took a minute though, but hey, I stuck with it, man.
You got to, bro. You got to. You never know what you can do until you do it.
Absolutely, man. And working on a situation with Tubi, so man, so that's another good look.
Cool. That's dope.
Man, so with that being said, thank you all for taking the time, leaving comments on here. I really appreciate you all and stuff. It's one of my, top interviews and stuff like that, man, on 2025. And thank you, Billy, man. I really appreciate that, brother.
Anytime, bro. Anytime, bro. We gonna politic for sure.
Definitely, man. So with that being said, we out of here.
All right. Thank y'all, man. Love you guys for tuning in, man. Holla at me. DM me. Share my stuff. All that good stuff. I'll get back at you. Love y'all.
Let's get it.